out there, I really said I'm not going to go off grid or do anything unless I have a refrigerator, a propane
That's okay,
refrigerator.
honey. We'll get you one. We're gonna get you one.
Yeah,
honey.
well, and so it was like we would talk it through. I said I want a propane refrigerator, definitely have to have that. And then we had also got like a potbelly stove. We figured, oh, we don't have a big, place. We'll be okay with the potbelly stove. And then when he went and the Amish were taking him around to the different houses looking at the stove, they like laughed at us with the stove, like, oh, that thing is just going to lose all this heat. It's not going to do anything. So from there, we ended up we got a Baker's Choice for our stove. And, it's just been amazing how through the process, you just kind of talk it through. And half the things that we said we were going to do at the beginning, we're not doing now, because you just kind of work through, and when you're actually in a situation when you have to have things done, you figure out a way of getting it done. And actually the way we figured it out has been amazing, especially let's talk about refrigeration a little bit, how we first started, or do you want to finish up what you're talking about?
Hey, it's your show.
When we first started, we had gotten an old freezer, like an old deep freeze.
Yeah.
And we ended up putting it out in our barn. So we have a big pole barn, and we put it away from the cabin, and we put ice buckets in there. So we went ahead at a neighbor's house. We would put some buckets of ice in their freezer.
That's not what happened.
What happened?
Actually, in the Amish communities, if you guys know, there's always an English person, and it's called the ice house.
Oh, that was first.
And so what they do is this English person has like 500 freezers in this outbuilding. And then all the Amish ride their buggies there, and they pay $5 for a bucket of ice. It might be like $3.
$4. It's $4. Yeah.
So they go and get like 1 or 2 buckets, and then they bring them back, and then they put them inside of these old non-working freezers. So we started with that because that's what they showed us, and that's what we knew. But the caveat is there's a few of them that are slick enough where they get English people that live closer by to put a freezer in their outbuilding. Then they can freeze their own ice or keep their meat there and then go there. So first we saw that, and we did that back and forth. That was like 9 miles from our house, back and forth. And then one day I was with one of the Amish guys, and he was like, hey, I got to stop by this place. And I was like, okay, cool. So we went by there, and he goes in, and like there's 2 freezers packed full of meat and buckets. And I was like, what? And he's like, oh yeah, some of us got these freezers kind of stashed around town. And I was like, oh man, you didn't tell me that. So then I got that figured out, and I found a neighbor that could actually do a freezer for us. So that's how we're managing putting our ice buckets in. And then, of course, a lot of them are cutting ice out of the pond and then using ice houses. So those are the 3 different ways that they're working their refrigeration that we've adopted for ourselves.
So that was the first process. We had the freezer, and it was in the barn. But I'm running back and forth to the barn because oh my gosh, I was going to get this, and I forgot this, and I kept going back and forth, and it was wearing on me. And in the middle of winter, and it's windy, and the snow is coming down, and I'm going back and forth. It was getting, a little old.
Yeah.
So then from there, I said, I really would like it if we could get a smaller deep freeze and put it in the house.
Yeah.
So we found a smaller deep freeze, and we put it in the back room.
Yeah.
So we did that. So that was okay, but then, you're doing it, and I'm bending over, and, you get into it. That was getting a little old for me. So from there, I
found a 100-year-old ice box on Craigslist, I guess
it was,
right? Craigslist.
Yeah.
And so there's like the old one, it's like a chest and the doors and everything. So that was cool. So we had to drop back how much food we were able to use because they're smaller, but it fit a 5-gallon bucket really nice. And then that's where we are right now with our ice situation and our, keeping our food.
And what's neat about our little 100-year-old ice box that we had, because there wasn't a lot of storage space in there, it kind of forced me to know, you want to eat what's in season, make your food, figure out ways that I could preserve food better, that I don't have to store as much, and it really kind of helped me be more organized that way, where you don't have as much waste. So that was a great way. And
but I mean, really. She was complaining about the barn, so I brought it in the house. Then she was complaining about the house, so then I built her an outdoor kitchen. So now it's only 10 steps outside the front.
And so then what I decided, we had the 100-year-old icebox in the house, and in the summertime, since we don't have air conditioning, it gets pretty warm. So I thought, let's take the 100-year-old icebox and put it in the outside kitchen and keep it there all year round.
Yeah.
So we moved it I guess a year ago
Last
or
year,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, into the outside kitchen. So in the winter months, I don't ever have to worry about getting ice at all because
Right.
it stays cold all the time. And then we keep it there, and it's worked out great. So he made me an outside kitchen, and basically it's a big screened-in porch where I have a nice, great big picnic table in there, and I have a stainless steel table out there that I can do all my processing on. We put a little sink out there, and he's in the process now of hooking up how many gallons? Of
For
your
you?
cistern? Yeah.
No, it's just going to be two 275-gallon holders, so about 500 gallons, but that'll be our outdoor shower and the kitchen water for that outdoor kitchen.
Right, and so
Those videos will be coming up. Stay tuned
Yeah.
and subscribe.
So, and the outside for me to help me cook and do things, I have like a propane burner, that's like a 3-burner, and then I have like a propane little oven out there, and a grill, and we have wood fire, so I can cook over an open fire. So I have all these options that I can use. If I can't get propane, I know I can cook over
Right.
fire outside because we have like one of those, what is it called, a cowboy?
Cowboy cook.
A
yeah.
cowboy grill.
cook,
You know what I'm talking about? They're
Yeah.
outside like a fire pit, but then there's a grill over it. So I can do that. So if I have a lot of canning to do, I could do it like on there, or I can do it on the propane grill. So I have lots of different areas. And then that way we can sleep outside if we need to. We have a air mattress that we can sleep outside. Or I do everything, sit outside and hang out, so we can be inside, outside, wherever we need to be, whatever the temperature is. So we try to cover all our bases when it comes to cooking, because eating is important, right? And processing your foods.
So a couple of things that we talk about a lot on our channel is redundancies, right? 3 is 2, 2 is 1, and 1 is none. And then we also talk about if you guys are going to invest your time and energy and money into something, we want that something to work for multiple purposes. So we did the outdoor kitchen, so not only can we prepare food out there, we can sit out there in the summertime, it's a lot cooler. And again, this is what the pioneers did too. If you go around to a pioneer village or old stuff in the 1800s, we did a tour of Daniel Boone's home, and that's how they had it. They had the main house, living quarters, then they had the outdoor kitchen, then they would have like a smokehouse area, so multiple buildings. That's actually one of the definitions of a homestead, is like multiple buildings on a property, so you can be self-sustainable. So think about that when you guys, if you're getting ready to get started or anything, just, we spend very little time in our house. That's why like 600 square feet for us it might be too much, but it's just perfect.
Yeah, it's still too much to clean.
Yeah. But it's just, we're not inside. I mean, we're meant to be outside, and that's what we are. We're outside in the garden. We're outside with projects. We're outside with the animals. And so, we spend a lot of time out there. But the outdoor kitchen functions as a sleeping area in the nighttime. It's a little cooler if we can sleep out there. We left the screens in so we can get a draft. And then, the cooking area, and like we'll have the wood storages on the side of that. And then it's like a little center. And then we also have the outdoor shower, which I'm getting ready to start building when we get home.
Oh, well, let me finish. I have one more thing. I was telling all the different ways that we cook with. There's one more that I absolutely adore and I love.
The All-American Sun Oven.
I cook with the sun oven all whenever, spring, summer, fall. You can cook in the winter, but I got a wood-burning cook stove, so I use that more in the wintertime. But whenever it's, pretty warm out and the sun's out, I use the All-American
All the
Sun
time.
Oven all the time. I use it to dehydrate all of my, if I have greens or if I have herbs I want to do, I can make jerky in it. I can bake bread in it. I can make any kind of meal you make in an oven in it, and I use the All-American Sun Oven for everything.
We have a whole playlist on our channel. If you guys go by there, it's Off Good with Doug and Stacy on YouTube. And we have a whole playlist of making 2 chickens at one time, like using the All-American Sun Oven. And we've actually worked it out with that company that you guys can get a discount. I'm not really trying to sell sun ovens here now, but we're talking about it. But there's a discount coupon there, so you could save some money, and then you can see all the different ways you could actually use the sun oven. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, we definitely use that a lot. So that
All right,
covers.
so that's our
cooking.
refrigeration.
Yeah, that's our cooking and